Good morning, class. Today, we're going to continue our discussion on human circulation. Before we begin, I want everyone to turn off all electronic devices and then place everything under your desk, except for a pen or pencil, the red and blue card I gave you, and the sheet I gave you. When you're done, I want you to look up, give me a thumbs up. And when everyone's thumbs are up, I'll know we can begin. Great. So can someone raise their hand and tell the class the main muscle in the circulatory system? Yeah, that's right. It's the heart. And today we're going to learn two main things about the heart. Number one, how to trace the path of blood through the heart. And number two, to determine if that blood is oxygen rich or oxygen poor at each chamber. So your heart pumps blood throughout the whole body. And your blood is like the garbage man. It's responsible for sweeping up the trash, the carbon dioxide, and leaving behind a nice clean can filled with the good stuff, oxygen for your cells to use. Because carbon dioxide and oxygen are both gases, it's difficult but really important to keep the trash from mixing with the good stuff. In order to keep them separate, oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood flow through different chambers of the heart. So the right side of your heart is always going to have oxygen-poor blood, and the left side of your heart is always going to have oxygen-rich blood. This is really similar to how arteries and veins work to keep blood separate, like we learned about yesterday. And so the four chambers of the heart include at the top, the right atrium and the left atrium, and at the bottom, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Remember that atria accept blood. Both atria and accept begin with the letter A. That's how we can remember it. And ventricles do the opposite. They send out blood. Now, I want everyone to check their pulse by putting two fingers on your neck or on your wrist. Each beat you feel is your heart pumping blood throughout your body. Blood is going in and out of the different chambers of your heart. It's going from your heart to your lungs and to the rest of the organs. So now I want you to imagine that you're in gym class and you're running really hard. So you feel your heart beating faster. What's happening? Well, it's blood flow. While you're running, there's a lot of carbon dioxide sitting next to your cells. And so the blood comes and picks up the carbon dioxide and it brings it back to the heart so it can get more oxygen to give the body. And it does this in 6 steps. First, the oxygen poor blood, or the blood with carbon dioxide, is accepted in the right atrium. From here, it is pumped into the right ventricle at step 2. At step 3, the oxygen poor blood is sent out by the right ventricle into the lungs. Now we're at step 4. Take a deep breath in and out. When you breathed in, your blood was refilled with oxygen. And when you breathed out, it got rid of the carbon dioxide. It got rid of the trash. So now you have oxygen-rich blood getting sent back to the heart, and it's accepted by the left atrium. At step 5, the oxygen-rich blood is pumped into the left ventricle, and at step 6, the left ventricle sends out the oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. Now, on your desk, there's a red card and a blue card. I'm going to point to a different chamber on this blank diagram. And when I do, I want you to raise a red card if that area represents oxygen-rich blood, and a blue card if it represents oxygen-poor blood. So first, I'm pointing at the right atrium. Raise your cards, please. If you raise the blue card, you're right. Remember, this is the first step, where oxygen-poor blood is getting accepted into the heart. Now, I'm pointing at the left ventricle. Can everyone raise their cards? If you raise a red card, you're right. Remember, this is the last step where oxygen-rich blood is sent throughout the whole body. Now, remember that oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood are kept separate because of the different chambers. And these different chambers are like rooms of the heart. Even in your own house, what's in your bathroom and what's in your bedroom never mix. And the reason your body does all of this is to ensure that all your muscles get enough oxygen to do its very best, which is especially important during any form of exercise. Now for homework, I want you to do the blood circulation diagram on your desk. This will reinforce everything we learned and all the directions are on top. We'll go over this first thing tomorrow.